Hey, love. So, this episode isn't planned. It's not a part of a series, it's not outlined. It's just something that I had on my heart today. And honestly, I'm showing up exactly how I am. Because I've been seeing creators, big, small, news, seasoned, all saying the same thing along the lines of, I'm tired, I feel burnt out, I feel like I'm performing, I think I'm falling out of love with creating. And that has been hitting me because I remember that feeling clearly. And I've started and stopped. I started and stopped and started and stopped this creator journey for years, especially trying to get into fitness and seeing how, that was going to work for me and seeing what to do. And then this year I started it and I start taking it very seriously. And within 2 months, I completely burnt out. Because once again, I felt exactly like that. I was tired. I was burnt out. I felt like I was performing and falling out of love of wanting to create content, right? There's a certain silence that happens before the burnout hits. And it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's very subtle, right? Because you wake up one day and creating feels heavier than it used to be, right? You start putting off filming, you start putting off your posting, you're putting off sharing things that you used to be really excited about. You don't even know when the shift happened. Suddenly, content feels like pressure. Posting feels like performing, and you feel like you're doing every single thing except for the thing that you love, right? And that quiet pressure, no one wants to admit out loud. And I think every creator reaches a point where they look around and realize, this isn't fun anymore. This feels like more, let's say, this feels like a job. This feels like a job. And what's wild is that it's nobody's fault, right? Because we live in a culture that rewards visibility and not authenticity, right? So what this culture tells us is that we have to show up every day. We have to be consistent. We have to niche down. We have to stay on trend. We have to keep up with new features. And don't forget, we have to be perfect, right? And when we're performing, we're not sustaining anything. I've been there. I remember, waking up and feeling like I had to be on. I had to turn it on. I had to turn it up every single time I showed up on social media, which is why I started to fall back off a short term or short form content rather, because it really made me feel like I was performing every day. I had to show up every day. I had this habit going on that I was creating 5 videos every day. I was thinking about so many different ideas every day in what I was creating. Had to make sure that I created it. Then creating shoppable videos or creating videos that I thought would resonate. Then looking at my analytics. It was just it was creating a habitual rhythm of, oh my gosh, I recorded all that. I recorded all that via this. Oh, I should have kept going. I'm going to just keep going. It's just going to be video. Bump it. And I just kept just doing this habitual thing. And that's what creating was for me. It was just habitual, just this routine of doing just to show up, doing to be present, doing to be there, doing to make myself be visible, right? And I wasn't posting because I had something to say. I was posting because I was afraid to fall behind and afraid that the algorithm wasn't going to push out my videos anymore. It was going to forget about me, right? And I was going to be at a point where people just stopped caring about me and the content that I created. So I lived in this bubble of fear. So everything that I made, it had to be polished, had to be well lit, it had to be worded perfectly, timed perfectly. And it became so exhausting that I burnt out in 2 months. It took 2 months for me to realize that this is not sustainable. This is not okay, and that I was not enjoying what I was doing anymore. And I got to a point where I didn't even realize that I wasn't creating anymore. I was actually performing. I was performing a creator role. And that's when I lost my joy. I completely lost my joy. And I was performing a creator role. My craft didn't feel like mine anymore. And let's be honest, right? People don't just fall out of love with creating. They fall out of love with the actual conditions that are around creating. It's not the art that they're tired of. It's not the aspect of what it is that they're creating that lights their fire, that helps them to just feel amazing and proud of the content that they're creating. It's the expectations, it's the pressure, it's the scrutiny, it's the judgment, it's the comparison, it's the metrics, it's the feeling that you have to earn your spot by being flawless. Why do I have to earn my spot in order for me to be heard, to be seen, right? Again, you don't fall out of love with your craft. You fall out of love with the rules others place around it, which is why I literally was like this close to quitting social media. But I had to realize that I wasn't creating my podcast for other people. In a sense, yes, I was, but it's more so for me. It's more so for me because now I can say what I need to say. I can say it in a long form manner. I can say it and be true and authentic to who I am without having to feel like it's going to be based off of the views I get, how many people download it. I'm not even checking for those metrics because I found joy in just being able to share what I think. And so going back into it, it's not that you're failing. It's the fact that you're overwhelmed, right? If you've been feeling unmotivated, if you've been procrastinating, if you open your phone to film and instantly shut it down, I want you to hear me clearly. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not lazy. You're not inconsistent. You're not uncommitted. You're overwhelmed. And overwhelmed creators, they shut down. And it's not because, once again, they don't love their craft. It's because they're caring too much about what other people are saying, what other people need, being on demand, being on time, being at their disposal. And you've been trying to create with this pressure sitting on your chest. And you're wondering why it feels heavy. The real thing is that you don't have to perform to be valuable, right? You don't have to show up to be perfect. You don't have to show up perfect. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't have to be polished to be respected. Your value is in your voice, your perspective, your lived experience, your honesty, your growth, your humanity. That's what people connect to. Not the transitions, not the aesthetics, not the curated storyline. not the numbers. People follow you because of you. So let's dial it back a moment. Now, if you never went viral again, would you still create? If numbers disappeared tomorrow, what would you want to share? And if no one was watching, what would you make? Those questions reveal your real craft, not the performance version. So let this episode be your permission slip. Permission to rest, permission to reset, permission to do less, permission to create something messy, permission to show up as you are. And here's your reset for this week. 1, make one thing just for you. Just for you. Not for engagement, not for strategy, just because it felt good to make. 2, post something imperfect. Something you wouldn't normally allow yourself to share. Do it. 3, stop chasing the algorithm and let it chase you. Authenticity always wins, eventually. And 4, be human online. Please be human online. Your humanity is your brand. Your truth is your differentiation. And this is just something that's coming from my heart. I want you to know that you're allowed to pause. You're allowed to realign. You're allowed to pivot. You're allowed to take your time. And you're allowed to reclaim your craft. You are still a creator, even in the quiet moments. Even when you're doubting yourself. Even when the numbers aren't moving. Even when you're resting. You don't lose your creativity. Sometimes it just needs space to breathe. Now, this wasn't a planned episode. This was a heart-to-heart. And if it reached you, I'm grateful you're here. Share this with a creator who's struggling silently. Because again, we don't have to perform. We don't have to pretend. We don't have to carry this alone. All right, my love, please breathe, slow down, and remember why you started. And I'll talk to you very soon in the next episode.